Good morning, everyone. I'm just leaving the Mount Collins shelter. It was actually a pretty warm night. Pretty nice. Last night was kind of fun. Like I expected, there was a lot of people at the shelter. But there's this group of old AT through hikers there. One of them was this gnarled old dude. He'd done the AT like 20 years ago, SOBO, like me. There's a couple of SOBOs. He's a triple crowner. He'd done the CDT and the PCT also. Just, anyways, Wildcat was his name. He gave me a bunch of trail magic, a bunch of food. They were so excited to see a SOBO. Actually, here in the Smokies, I've ran into a lot of people really excited to see a SOBO. I feel almost like a celebrity here. There's a lot of people through the park, and a lot of them know about the AT through hikes and the SOBOs. But anyways, it was a fun night. We hung out a bit, swapped some trail stories and whatnot. But we're moving on, heading south today. Let's see what the day brings. And this is the top of Mount Collins. I guess it's looking a little bit smoky out there. Actually, I guess there's some smoke moving in right above us. Look at those pretty clouds. Mount Collins.
I'll show you and change it. There's a yacht.
Klingman's Dome. So that was Klingman's Dome, another popular spot here in the park. I've been here several times. It's actually, they renamed the peak here just this year while I was on trail to, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but Kauai, the Cherokee name. So I think Kauai is the mountain peak, but I still think the tower is being called Klingman's Dome. This view isn't quite as wide, but there's a lot less people here, and it's still fantastic. This is a nice exposed downhill coming down from Kauai. And it has great views all around. It's really pretty right here. All these trees with the brown leaves. I don't know what kind of tree it is. Maybe beech. I'm just guessing, but kind of pretty walking through here. Wow, isn't that awesome? That's pretty. That's pretty. I like that. Well, Looks like we've got some dark clouds rolling in. I think I felt a raindrop or two. I haven't had very good service here in the Smokies, not at all. But when I left just a few days ago, the 10-day forecast wasn't showing any rain. So looks like something snuck in, and hopefully we won't get too awful wet. So welcome to Derek's Knob Shelter. This shelter, just FYI, is actually closed right now. Apparently a bear came in a handful of days ago in mid-afternoon while a guy was sleeping or hanging out in his tent, and the bear started eating the tent. I guess he learned that some people keep food in their tent, so they've closed the shelter area. The guy did get out fine. The bear apparently ate the whole tent, but no one was injured. But the reason why I'm showing this off is this is where, when I was backpacking about 8 years ago with my 12-year-old son, I was sleeping about right here. My son was sleeping about right here. This is where you put your head here and your feet back up against the back. Middle of the night, it's pitch black. We don't know what happened. My son was sleepwalking or something. You can see this is about 6 foot high. That's about how tall I am when my hair's not crazy. Fell out head first. He must have had his arm up to stop him because he fell, broke his collarbone, hit his head, gashed his head. Probably on this rock right here. His blood was all over here. Oh, it was a mess. But then there just happened to be, camping out here, 2 nurses, one an ER nurse and one like an army nurse of some sort. They were able to come help out. Eventually the next morning, a helicopter came right here, a Black Hawk. Dropped down, put him on a stretcher, took him up, come back down, took me up into the Black Hawk. So I haven't been south of here, and took us over to Knoxville where my son was evaluated. He's okay. He's pretty normal still. He's fine, but this is back to the scene of where it all happened. You know, later me and another guy, we came in just up to Molly's to help the crew out because they wouldn't take our packs or any of our stuff in the helicopter because of the altitude and so on. And they sent in the Black Hawk because the hospital helicopter didn't want to come in because there was thunderstorms around. It's a little crazy. So we got to fly in a Black Hawk. That, I think I mentioned earlier on. There was one time when I needed search and rescue. That was the time for my son. But kind of cool to be back here and remember some of that craziness. I'm remembering the helicopter story was 7 years ago. My hike here with the scouts and my son and the helicopter, 7 years ago, not 8 years ago. I told that story really fast. I'm sorry if it wasn't clear. The other clarification I should make is that helicopter could not land. So it actually, they dropped a guy down who put my son on a stretcher and then pulled him up, and then the guy came back down for me. The other important thing to note is, again, the 4 boys that remained and the 2 adults had to carry all of our backpacks and stuff because the helicopter apparently would have been too heavy to take both me, my son, and our gear at this altitude. Well, here's the top of Thunderhead Mountain. I wish I could give you some better views, but as you can see, it's all this mountain laurel tunnel here. So this climb up here is a legit climb. Probably the worst of it is going up Briar Knob out of the shelter area. It's like 1,000 feet straight up. But Thunderhead also was pretty steep, especially at the end. So these 4 11 to 13-year-old boys and 2 leaders carried mine and my son's gear up and over these mountains, and for years they'd always talk about Thunderhead Mountain. I can see now it's a legit climb. It really is. I have a little more respect, and I already had respect for these boys, for them able to do that. Next up is Rocky Top. They always talked about Rocky Top too, but I think from my map it won't be quite as bad, but let's go try it out. So here's the views from Thunderhead we've been looking for as we're going down. Wow, look at that. Isn't that amazing? That must be Rocky Top right there. Gotta go over Rocky Top and then get down to our shelter. Ooh, look at those clouds. I think that's Rocky Top. I'm still 0.3 away, but let's take a moment to enjoy this spot. Beautiful. I'm not sure what to think of all this mist blowing in. I wasn't expecting it, but I guess we are in the Smoky Mountains. So this is Rocky Top, and it is a little bit rocky. I think there's views here, but that fog I saw, the mist, has now engulfed the top of this mountain. But again, kudos to those 11, 12, 13-year-old boys for knocking this out with extra gear. Well, I'm going to go ahead and sign off now. I'm going to spend the night at Spence Field Shelter. And I know there's going to be people there because I just met them. They've been at Spence Field, I think, for a little while. They decided to come look at the view at Rocky Top. And I swear they must have missed it by 5 minutes when that mist rolled in. But hey, thanks for watching. Have a good night. See you tomorrow. And guys, Rocky Top wasn't that bad.